And we're back with another one. So today, going to be focusing on the gray hatch. With the gray hatch, going to be doing some AC work. Going to be putting the cooling system in. We got a bunch of wiring to do. I've already got a little bit ahead of myself. I'm really bad at trying to keep up with my own recordings and whatnot. But for the most part, I got a pile of boxes over here that are empty with a bunch of parts. I've been doing a bunch of stuff. Some of the stuff I have been doing is not Foxbody stuff. It's kind of weird. I did some repairs and maintenance on my buddy's truck. So you'll see a little extra boxes over there. But in any case, with the Foxbody gray hatchback, we got AC so far that we're going to be installing. We got the Holley Terminator X kit we're going to be installing, which is somewhat ran already. Went and picked up a battery today. Customer got battery tray so we can actually put the battery in the car. We got, I want to say 95% of the AC products that we needed, along with doing the electric fans, radiator, Dakota Digital, not the dash, the Dakota Digital fan controller, which is Bluetooth. So it's an app basically you use from your phone. You can change the temp ratings, turn the fans off, control all the little features and whatnot. But a big bonus is it is compatible with the AC system, because when you do run the AC system, it does run a little bit more draw on the engine. So you want to keep the AC system Freon cool as well. So the condenser of the AC system is basically like a mini radiator. You've probably seen it on your Foxbody, and if you've been anywhere in Northern California, like where I'm from, we typically delete them when it doesn't get too hot out here, but the area I live in gets scorching hot. So he wanted AC, so we're gonna put AC in it, like I talked about. But yeah, let's get to that. All right, so far, the recap from last time, we already got the wire harness somewhat hanging out here. It's an engine bay, what can I say? But this is a fluidine radiator, triple pass, meaning the coolant will flow through it 3 times before it exits it. But we also got the brand new AC condenser right here, which is, like I was telling you earlier, it's a little radiator deal for the Freon. We got it somewhat plumbed. All this stuff is kind of sat in there. I still got to wire up the electric fans. So once I get the electric fans going, we're going to start getting some of the wire kind of ran. Got the battery box in here nice and tight. Nothing moving from there. All new hardware, whole new kit. And we're going to make some progress on this thing. So like I said, not going to be spending a lot of time on how to, but just kind of showing you the progress as we go. Hopefully some of these things make a little sense. But in the comments, let me know what you guys want to see. If you want me more on the side of showing what's going on versus just showing you the before and after, I'm game. But yeah, all new brackets and everything to hold on the AC condenser, since all that hardware was missing. So we wanted to make sure it was in a good position. One thing to note though, the front of this car is a bit off. It was involved in a collision at one point. Can't see it because it did a pretty good job of straightening everything out. But a tall tale sign, these 2 panels right here don't line up and they're bent. This one here is a little bit better. This panel's bent, and then also when I put on this radiator hold down, there's a big section in the center where they tried to straighten it and it didn't quite straighten out 100%. So the hood doesn't sit right. There's a little things he's got to have taken care of, but for the most part, it's not too noticeable. All right, so this is some of the AC components I got on the ground here in my garage that we're going to be putting up and putting together. This is some of the wiring stuff that's going to be going on for the electric fans. On these contour fan setups, you do have to lop off all these tabs right here, because once again, these are for a contour. You're going to cut off this little hook deal that sits right here as well. Doesn't need that. That's just going to be in the way of the radiator. We're also going to be cutting off these 2 right here as well, because once again, we don't need them. I'll be deleting this also, since this is something that's for the factory contour setup. It appears to be a heat sink of some sort, maybe a temperature control. But these 2 little screws here, we'll pop those out, take that out, and yeah, we're just going to get rid of the stuff we don't need, prep everything, set all the wiring up for this. before I set it in the car. And then once I set everything in the car, I'm going to have weather packed quick disconnects on everything, so you don't have to cut the wires to remove this thing from the car. So it should be a pretty clean install. Also, once again, we are installing a Dakota Digital fan controller. Once again, it's going to be Bluetooth orientated. It's going to have a bunch of cool stuff on it. I was going to run it off the factory, not necessarily factory, but I was going to run it off the Holley Terminator. But since he's bought this whole kit, I figured we just use it this way and do it the right way. So that's what that's going to be all about. So I'll get back to you in a moment once we get some more of this stuff installed. All right, bro. So what I've gotten done so far, I went through and painted this bracket. You know, it was all rusty and crusty and shit. I'm probably going to have to go wire wheel the bolts because those look like ass also. I also did riv nuts, which allowed us to put actual bolts where the P-clamps go. So had to drill holes and install riv nuts so we have actual threaded inserts. Kind of got some of the wiring pre-ran, where everything's going to go. And then just kind of routed some stuff over there to kind of see where it's going to go. I went and bought you a new ignition starter solenoid. I also installed riv nuts so we can actually thread this in and out. Made you a positive battery cable, a negative battery cable, which also is riv nutted to the frame. And done right there. Another thing I want to point out is that we have power now in the car. So one thing that you're not going to be happy about, I go put the key in the ignition. Gauges and everything appear to work somewhat, but this does not. So I'll go through the fuses, but this was something that you get when you have a car sitting for hella years. Shit don't fucking turn on. So I mean, you can see turn signal lights, all that stuff. Windshield wiper motors turn. So it's not like we're not getting any power anywhere. That shit just ain't working. All right, guys, it's been a few days, but we're back and we did some work. A couple things went down. I got hella sick. Crazy schedule at work, but yeah. So back to what we were talking about with this AC and radiator and electric fan setup. So I've already mounted the fans, obviously, contour fans. You got to cut the tabs off the edges and kind of shave them down a little bit because the contour has a different mounting setup than the Foxbody. But you also have the hardware there for the Foxbody. And then I wired everything up, loomed everything up, and then ran most of the wires, or some for the most part. Those are up, I go under. One goes there, one goes inside the car. We got the battery in, we got battery terminals. So everything's just kind of just in place. Harness is somewhat routed. We got the vacuum line. So now that the electric fans are fully wired in, this is the contour style fan setup. So you cut the tabs off. Obviously the contour has different mounting brackets, but LMR sells a whole kit and they give all these little additional pieces and whatnot to help it they sell little brackets and everything with the kit to help mount this up properly. Down here is where I placed the two relays. Both those relays are held in by riv nuts, just so we had something threaded down there to mount them on. Did some of the wiring, loomed some of that stuff up. The battery terminals also. So the car has power. We ended up getting the windows and everything to work also. What ended up happening is since the car was at the body shop, they took the doors off when they did the body work and paint it. So I tested all the wiring, nothing had power. So basically way up in there, I had to shove my hand and then fish through and find the male end of the harness. So now that works, we got both power windows working. Door locks still don't work. Fan, I got that figured out. Looks like the blower motor is just bad, so we're gonna replace the blower motor on that. But with this crummy weather, I ain't gonna be doing too much of anything today. But progress was made. Cleaned up some of the wiring that went over there as well. I'll still probably go through here and reroute some of this stuff because it still kind of irks me, some of the way it looks. Started mocking up some of the AC stuff, but weather for the most part is what's killing this. Weather and then me being under the weather. But also, on the next video, we're going to talk about this car. This came back, not for anything wrong. It just came back from the exhaust shop, getting a custom exhaust put on it. And then I'm going to do a full overview and run through on this car and the full build spec on this. This is basically a 240 with a 50 motor and an angle kit. And then I'll leave it at that for now. But what I'm going to do is bring it in the garage and then put it on the lift so I can show you guys underneath how clean everything was ran, the angle kit, everything. We'll go into full detail on that. So stay tuned for the next video.